Hey guys, this is Marie and I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be hermit crab's favorite shell type. So let's get started. So in this video, I will be showing you and talking to you a little bit about each hermit crab shell type and which hermit crab likes the best. So let's get started. So as you guys can see here, I have picked out two types of shells that I will be talking to you about in this video and let you guys know which hermit crab likes the best. So the first ones I have picked out will be your turbo shells, and then the other type of shells will be your oval shape, or another way of calling them will be your D-shaped shells. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Now the very first shells I will talk to you guys about will be your oval shapes. I have about 3 different types of ovals. So the first one is going to be this one. This one is an all-natural hermit crab oval shaped shell. And it's like a light and dark brown color and has like little spikes but not too sharp for the hermit crab. And then this one has a more oval shape and it's more opened up, and it gives your hermit crab a lot more room to grow into this hermit crab shell. So if you have a small hermit crab, they will have plenty of room to grow into this shell and be into this shell probably a little bit longer than most other shells. So this is the very first oval shaped shell I got. The other one is this one, and this one's more like a really light brown color, and then it has like the more oval circle right here on the end of it. And then this one is more opened up on the left side, and it has more closed in than this one does. So these are 2 different types of oval shapes. It depends on your hermit crab and which one they would like to have better to suit them. But this one is a good choice. The reason why most people say oval shaped shells, or another way of calling them the D shapes, because they actually look like a D if you put it into a certain way. So it's easier to say D shaped shells or oval shaped shells. So it depends on which one you like to say, and they're pretty much the same thing. So if you hear other people saying D shaped shells, it's the same exact thing. It's just 2 different ways of saying it. So this is the second one that's an oval shaped shell. And then this one's a little bit smaller than this one, so it gives you an idea of what sizes you can get. You should have multiple sizes of shells for your hermit crabs and more options than just certain sizes and shapes in your hermit crab tank. So this is a little bit more smaller. This is probably more like a medium size, and this is the larger size right here. And this is probably just about a large size also. So it depends on which hermit crab you have and which one would they like to move into and live in as long as they live. Now the last one is more an oval shaped shell also, but this one's more deeper and a little bit fatter than the other 2. And this is more actually the D-shaped size than the other ones are. This one's more closed in and it has a little bit more room than the smaller ones, so they might be able to live in this one a little bit longer than this shell right here. But those are the 3 different shell types for your oval shape or your D-shaped shells. And this one's a natural shell. This one's more like shinier and it's like a light purple color. And these are beautiful shells. I like the oval shaped shells. They're unique and different, and you can always find different shapes and sizes of these. So you get more options for your money if you're looking for a certain type of shell. These shells I actually found, I think I found all of these actually at Petco. So if you're looking for D-shaped shells, you can probably check out petco.com or go into your Petco store, and some certain Petcos do have these. I had to go out of my area to another Petco that had opened up recently, and I was able to find these shapes because these are very hard to find. You cannot find these very often, so when you do find them, I would go ahead and snatch them up and get them because they're very hard to find. Even online, they're hard to find also. But if you guys know a store that I don't know about that sells these, let me know in the comments. But I had a very hard time finding these shells until I actually went to different types of Petcos in different areas and I was able to find them. Now, the oval shaped shells, I would tell you which hermit crab would like these better, and most of the hermit crabs between the Ecuadorians and the purple pinchers will be your Ecuadorian hermit crabs. Ecuadorian hermit crabs actually like these shells better. I'm not sure exactly what the real reason is, but most of the time when I do pick up a Ecuadorian hermit crab, or have I seen a Ecuadorian hermit crab, they're usually mostly in these oval shaped shells. I think they have a lot more room and space in these shells than they do the turbo shells. So most Ecuadorians that I've known absolutely love these types of shells. Now I do have 2 Ecuadorian hermit crabs, and Mickey is the one that's in the painted shell, and that shell is almost identical like this one, but just look at it if it was painted. But this one's not painted. But his shell is absolutely looks exactly like this, but this one's not painted and his shell is painted. So most Ecuadorians like the oval shape shell. Now I do have another Ecuadorian that's a lot smaller that's named Patch, and she's actually in a oval shaped shell too, but hers is really tiny. Hers is probably a good inch or a good inch and a half. Her shell is too small for her. So hopefully she'll go into one of these oval shaped bigger shells for her. But she is also in a oval shaped hermit crab shell too. Now moving on to your next shell type will be your turbo shells. And I have about only 2 different types of shells that are turbos. You got this one is the large to the jumbo size. And this one is an all natural shell. It's just glazed and polished to look nice. And then it has a good opening in size, so if you have a large to jumbo hermit crab, this will be a perfect size for your hermit crab. And this one has more the roundest on it. So if you're looking for turbo shells are most likely to be more rounder, like a circle size, than the oval shapes are more like the D-shaped shells. And hermit crabs absolutely love these shells, and they are pretty good popular ones more than the D shape. Now this is another shell type that's a turbo, but it's just a real natural shell. And most of the time when you pick a hermit crab up from Petco, usually hermit crabs from Petco are usually in these all natural brown and white shells. And usually most of the time when I picked up a hermit crab from Petco, I always got a purple pincher hermit crab in these type of shells. And this one's more oval shape too, but it is actually a turbo shell, but it's just shaped a little bit different and more shorter than this one. This one is more wider and opened up, and this one's more closed in and smaller. So it depends on your hermit crab which one they would like. This other turbo shell is more rounder also, and this is just a smaller size, and it's all natural. It's like a green and blue. Green and brown, and then like a light dark brown color. And this is another turbo shell that hermit crabs will absolutely love, and it's just a smaller version of that one. And then we have your really smaller tiny one. If you have a really small tiny hermit crab, this one also is a natural shell, but it's just like glazed or polished, so it is a natural shell. And this one's is a turbo, but it's just a lot smaller version of this one, so you can see the difference of the sizes of your shells for your hermit crabs. Now I get a lot of comments from other videos about these shells right here, and a lot of people in the comments say please do not use painted shells, they are toxic and bad for your hermit crabs. But I just want to clear that up right now. These are not painted shells, these are just polished and glazed, and they will not hurt your hermit crab. These are not painted shells. They're not going to come off and tear off, and your hermit crab is not going to eat them. The only shells that are painted are usually the ones that are at Petco, and it actually is real paint that people will paint on a shell like this to make it like a painted shell for people to buy them. Now I do have a hermit crab that is in a real painted shell, and it is peeling, but I can't force him to get out that shell. He has to be on his own and let him do his thing, and eventually he will come out of that shell. But that is a painted shell. These type of shells are not painted, so these are safe. So I just wanted to go ahead and clear that up with you guys. So these shells right here, the turbo shells, most of the time you will get a purple pincher and a turbo shell more than a oval shaped shell. So the Ecuadorians like the oval shape, and their purple pinchers like their turbo shells. Now, when I picked up my last hermit crab a while back named Rocket, he was actually in a oval shaped shell, and I do have his shell. His shell is actually this one right here, and he was actually in this oval shaped shell. So I was really surprised because you don't see purple pinchers in oval shaped shells very often, but they didn't have a lot of turbo shells in their tank. They had more of the oval shape, so he pretty much didn't have a choice to go into an oval shape shell. But he was actually in this oval shaped shell, and he was too big for it. He was huge, and now he's actually in a shell that's a lot bigger, and it's mostly probably about this size, a little bit bigger than this one. So he's actually a huge hermit crab. You couldn't really tell his shell type and how big he was until he moved out of this shell and moved into a turbo shell. So you can see a difference when you get a hermit crab that is in like this shell and then they move into this shell. You can see the difference of the size of your hermit crab. But he was actually in this oval shaped shell, so I was really surprised. But that was my very first purple pincher hermit crab that I ever seen go into this shell type before. But he did move out of it after about 5 days after that, so he didn't stay in very long. But these are your different shell types for your hermit crabs. So most of the time, if you have Ecuadorians, I would prefer to get these shell type. And if you have purple pincher hermit crabs, I would go ahead with the turbo shells. And if you have a mixture of hermit crabs that are purple pincher and Ecuadorians, give them a variety, because some hermit crabs like the oval shape and some like the turbos. But that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give this video a big thumbs up, comment down below, and definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more. Until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!